everyone, I'm Nathalie.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are from Bytown Bites, a local food blog. We are very excited to be here today on a full day date with Apartment 613 and you, discovering the heart of Centretown, Bank Street.
And we're about to head over to TAMIS Cafe, a place for Filipino brunch. Nathalie first introduced me to that when we were in Winnipeg, her hometown, which has a large Filipino community.
This is true, and I'm super stoked that Filipino brunch has finally landed in Ottawa. TAMIS Cafe on Bank Street moved to Centretown in 2018 after having been in the Glebe for 3 years. To start our day off right, we ordered their Filipino brunch, which featured homemade pineapple marinated sausages, garlic rice, and a sweet and savory strip loin, as well as pandan pancakes.
As we were eating, Liza, one of the owners, sat down with us to chat about her restaurant, Filipino cuisine, and her experiences in Ottawa.
Well, the general description of Filipino food is sweet and savory. It's mostly influenced by Spanish cuisine because the Philippines have been under the Spanish rule for 300 years. So culture, food, tradition, religion is all influenced by the Spaniards. When I was growing up, eating the food that my mom will cook, she would always say, "Oh, this is my mom's recipe." When we first came here, I noticed, because we also have a restaurant back home.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I noticed the food, oh, this is a good place to introduce the Filipino cuisine in a different way. Mm-hmm. We're happy. Nice. We're happy to be here in Centretown, to be able to serve also the LGBTQ community. It's wonderful.
Yes, that's wonderful.
It's just...
Yeah. And Centretown is so lucky to have you, of course.
Yeah. How long have you been going from one restaurant to another?
For as long as I could go to restaurants.
As soon as I moved to Ottawa, yeah, for sure.
Really?
But I think both of us are just, we really love to explore, and I think there's no better way to really explore a city or a place or a culture than through its food. Yeah. So for us, it's really a good way to get a feel for neighborhoods, to get a good feel for cities, for countries we're traveling.
Yeah. And it's interesting because coming to a place like this, for people who aren't able to go to the Philippines, it's still a way to kind of experience some of your culture.
Yeah.
And so, in a way, a lot of the restaurants that we go to, it's kind of trying to experience people's culture.
Right.
So.
And it makes us dream of the day that we'll get to go to the Philippines too.
Yes.
We're like, yes.
I hear it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is. Beautiful beaches there.
That's what I hear. Yeah. Despite its central location, Centretown still manages to maintain a lot of unique character. There's a buzz in this area of town, extending from the office workers who fill the streets at lunchtime on weekdays, to the weekend partiers going to places like Babylon or Atomic Rooster for live music.
In our years running Bytown Bites, we've only scratched the surface of restaurants in the Centretown area. Beyond restaurants, we love the character of Bank Street for its high concentration of independently owned shops. After eating a big meal, we were ready to do a bit of shopping and hit up Bellwether's Vintage, the Book Bazaar, and the Turning Point.
When we popped into BEADED Dreams, an Indigenous art store that's been on Bank Street for 25 years, we got to chat with the owner, Kim. He told us a little bit about how both his store and Centretown have changed over that time.
It's just basically a place that's friendly. You know, people can come in and they can just come and we'll chat with them, and it's more about the connection than anything else. Like, it's just, I know we're a small shop here, but I find we're doing bigger things than what I'd ever thought we'd do, you know. My parents' passion is sort of have a brick and mortar kind of store, you know. We were always on the powwow trail, so to speak, going to different powwows and selling their creations and whatnot. And it's changed so much, I think. You know, nice people, business owners coming in and opening up businesses, and then these condos came in here, and then yeah, it's just, I don't know, everything's grown so much over the last number of years, and it's just a nicer vibe, I find.
So for people such as ourselves who don't necessarily have Indigenous roots, but who really do appreciate Indigenous culture and art, what are some of the ways in which we can most kind of respectfully show our appreciation for Indigenous arts and culture?
I think if you take in the culture as much as you know, not you don't have to be diving right into everything, but if you sort of like keep your mind open and sort of like, you know, take it upon yourself to learn a bit, maybe even check out like a powwow or some of the, there's a lot of events that do go on in the city that involve the Indigenous, you know, community. So if you like take it upon yourself to sort of familiarize yourself with some of these things that are going on and maybe even check out some of these events, you're just getting to the root of, as long as you know where it's coming from, it's the important part.
Yeah, so not objectifying what it is that you have, but really trying to get a sense of the meaning behind it and where it's from. And
that's right, that's right.
History behind it and all
yeah.
that stuff.
They had vade in there too, so those are kind of like little like Sri Lankan donuts kind of thing, made with like rice flour or like chickpeas. And these are all just like classic, the term in Sinhalese culture is short eats. It's kind of like small bites that you kind of take on the road or take with you if you're going on a picnic or something. So yeah, it's really a good taste at home. The proprietors of this shop are Sri Lankan, or at least it reminds me a lot of Sri Lankan snacks. Yeah. So growing up, this would be something that you'd put like, load up with a bunch of rolls, go on a road trip together, have a thermos of Sri Lankan tea, and that's memories of childhood for me.
Awesome.
Not dissimilar from your childhood.
Not at all. No, I also remember that.
There's a lot of history here and a lot that is being created, between establishments that have been around for 20 plus years and newer tenants that are setting the future trajectory of the community.
The street was a major center point for the city's gay rights movement, and in our attempts to get to know this history better, we found the Village Legacy Project, which has collected photographs and stories of queer Ottawa to create an app-based, self-guided walking tour.
Glenn Crawford, the creator and curator of the project, took us on a personal version of that tour around Centretown.
I mean, I guess as a community, we've been somewhat migratory in that, you know, it has sort of congregated in specific places in the neighborhood. Often it's just a matter of, you know, where's the cheapest rent? I mean, it really sometimes comes down to things as, you know, basic and straightforward as that. Our community tends to prefer living in urban environments. They tend to be a bit safer spaces for our community historically. And so I think that if people are living in the area, it's logical to sort of open up businesses or organizations that cater to the community. Because I think from about 2006 to 2011 when we got the village signs, those things, most of the organizations and businesses had congregated on Bank Street at that time, and it just sort of, you know, it's also kind of a scenario of, you know, if there are a few places that are open in that area, it makes sense to put other spaces if you're opening something new in that area, so that people aren't sort of traipsing all over the city to, yeah.
We learned so much on this tour, like the history of the Centretown pub, the meaning and story behind the Pride mural at Bank and Gilmore, and so much more. I can't wait to check out some of the other spots on the app.
You know, places like the, you know, the pathway behind Parliament Hill, or, you know, things that are like right in the heart of the city that you would never think in a million years are, have a particular queer history to it. Sure. But you know, you dig a little bit down in the surface and you'll find lots of interesting stuff.
Needing a little break, we decided to get some ice cream from right around the corner of the Pride mural. Thimblecake specializes in vegan ice cream that's coconut based. If you're in Centretown and you're looking for vegan treats, we also recommend Mushu ice cream for their inventive fusion flavors, and Herb and Spice for their selection of local vegan baked goods.
a long walk.
That was a long walk. Hey Shawn, you know what they say the secret is to a lasting relationship?
I think it's making sure that, you know, no matter how far a relationship goes down the road, that you're always like taking time to spend with one another.
Actually, no. It's spending time apart. So, you know, not that I need an excuse to go to the spa, but I think maybe gonna go and isolate myself for a bit.
Well, I mean, I guess I could use that opportunity to learn a bit more about Centretown's murals.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Should we meet up again at dinner?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Sounds good. Awesome. Great. Thanks so much.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you. I was really curious about this floating experience I just had, so I took the opportunity to chat with Jasson and Mika, the owners of ISO Float Spa. I wasn't too sure how it was going to go, but I felt like pretty quickly I really just was able to relax completely and just really take it in. And
You were able to close the lid and turn off the light?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. 'Cause
Nice.
sometimes I get anxious in tight spaces, but I left it kind of halfway open for the first little bit. Then I decided to just close it. And
We have more and more people coming in because they've had like hip surgery or hip replacement,
Right.
ironically, and somebody says, yeah, go for a float. It's going to take all that pressure off the joints.
Earlier in the day, I noticed a lot of new murals had gone up around Bank Street. So while Nathalie had some quiet time at the spa, I decided to walk around to check out some of the other street art in the area. Luckily for me, Dom Laporte was just finishing up a new mural at Bank & Lewis, and we got the chance to talk about the art form.
Just me and another local artist, Dan Metcalf. We're just working on a mural for the Bank Street BIA, but it was based on a trip that I did to the Philippines this last spring. Basically just bring that in, and for people who can't travel or don't travel, they can bring a little piece of the world back to Ottawa, I guess. When a mural goes up, it's respected. People won't tag over it. It's public art as well, so it's for you know, it's for the people who wouldn't usually go into an art gallery or go into, you know, like, yeah, it's for the people. So yeah, come up and say hi.
it was already an eventful day, but it wasn't over yet. Our final stop was at J Unique, a Japanese restaurant serving oshi, a style of sushi that's pressed instead of rolled. We were blown away by the quality, freshness, and bold flavors, and had a chance to talk with Chef James Park about his vision for the restaurant.
My name is Jong-Hwan Park. You can call me James. It is a little different from like traditional Japanese food, so we call it like J as a Japanese and unique kitchen. Oshi is pressed sushi. There are many different names like Osaka press, or some people call it like juicy, yeah. In Vancouver, the oshi is pretty common, like you can see it from anywhere. But here I found there's not many, maybe there is one place that's doing just one oshi sushi. So I am presenting like many different kinds of oshi.
From its local institutions to its diverse restaurants and newer businesses, Bank Street is not only an example of Ottawa's varied history, but also a microcosm of how it's changing. The more we learn, the more we hope to discover in the years to come. So that's a wrap on our day exploring some of Centretown's hidden gems.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite thing was?
I thought the tour with Glenn on the local LGBTQ+ community was really eye-opening personally. What about you?
You know, I really enjoyed learning more about some of the local shops that we got to check out. So Beaded Dreams, Turning Point, even Book Bazaar. I found some great books in there, so
That was awesome,
really
yeah.
cool. I think after such a action-packed day, I'm ready to just chill out, have a pint at Flora Hall, one of our favorite breweries in town.
True, and I think I'll grab some kombucha. Apparently they have some from Butch Pop, which is a local kombucha company.
So we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.